Madhuro Saralavakkoi Ishatatvang Prakasya Krushagato Purisheshopi Isha Putro Amritoja Tamati Sayang Pavitrang Merijang Lokabandhum Paramo Prema Murting Dinanathang Bhajama Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute the Lord of the lowly, the embodiment of absolute transcendental love, the Son of Mary, who was perfect and pure, extremely pure. Though he was crucified, he became immortal, who preached the message, the nectar of the message of the Lord in the sweet, simple words. We salute him again and again. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Happy Easter. It is a blessed day where we find that the Lord resurrected. So this is a great incident, event in the whole spiritual world to affirm that God's coming and God's presence gives us hope and aspiration to all of us. And death is merely the death of the body, but nothing dies. And we are immortal. In the Upanishad we say, Tamaso ma jyoti gamaya, mrittur ma amritam gamaya. The Upanishad sages are praying, O Lord, lead us from mrittu, death, to immortality. Death happens of the body, but the soul, the inner self, remains immortal. And of course it is a very special event when it happens in the life of a messenger. The messenger comes for the redemption of the whole world. The messenger suffers because they take the sin or all the negativities of ours to make us fulfill, and they suffer themselves. So it is said that all the sufferings of Christ was because of what? Because of us, our negativities. Someone will have to suffer. I suffer because of, if we believe in the karma theory, if I do something, I'll have to suffer. We suffer because of our karma, because we are bound to do that. Because I did something wrong, bad reaction should come to me. I have done something good, it will come to me. That is a logical conclusion. But that we are suffer because we have done something by our own. How to get out? But this suffering of the incarnations, like Christs and Buddhas, they are all pure. They are ever birthless, deathless, eternally absolute, pure and peace, full of peace and bliss. Why they should suffer? That's the question. They take away the sins, means the negativities, the bad karmas of us. Ramakrishna in the recent incarnation we find, he's from his childhood intoxicated in God. There is no question for him to suffer anyway. But he suffered the excruciating pain of the cancer, which is the disease of the modern age, How many people are suffering that way. And he suffered that. It is said he took away all the karmas or bad actions done by Girish, whose character you know is a bohemian character. Yeah. And he said, "Oh Lord, did I know that you would come, then what sin I have committed? I could have committed mountain high sins, more sins I could have committed joyfully, knowing that you are coming to redeem me." But the point is that this redemption happens to the soul, but the suffering is transferred. There's account transfer. Is it not? Someone's account, your account is low, some rich person can transfer his money to your account, so your account gets bigger. Similarly, our accounts, low account, because of the karma and other things, whatever we have, if some holy person takes away and comes and takes it, so we get free from our debts. But bank balance will have to be equated, no? So the amount will go down. But they cannot, because they are God themselves. Nothing can be taken from their eternal source. But the body which they take, body suffers. All our suffering is the body and mind, no? We find that all our suffering, if you analyze, it is happening either in the body or in the mind. So, when God incarnates as Christ, as Buddha, as Rama and Krishna, you find that their life is not very, we think that they are gods, but they are to suffer. That suffering is because they are coming for a mission. Our mission is just to enjoy our life, how we can be peaceful, joyful, in this way or that way. We try many methods and ultimately find that probably surrendering to God is the best way. So we come to God. But when God comes himself, is a special concession period. And that period, by their grace, by their look, by their kindness, thinking of them a little bit, our mind gets uplifted and they take away our all actions. So this is a very important point to understand, that this death happens in the body. Body suffers because that to take away the physical pain of the physical body or the mental pain of the person, and God, when it incarnates in the form of avatar, incarnations as we believe, they take away all those actions and makes the other person free, and they suffer themselves joyfully. It is their own choice. So that's why in the Bhagavad Gita, in the introduction, Shankaracharya says that Bhagavan who has no birth, who has no death, who has no beginning and end, who is the Lord of the universe, Bhutanam Ishwaru Ishan. Such a Bhagavan, that Bhagavan, who is the Bhutanam, Lord of the universe. He comes down, Bhuta Anujigriksha, Lokanugraha Kurban, out of compassion. It's infinite compassion to lead us from the suffering to the life of freedom. Bhuta Anujigriksha, for the compassionately releasing the Bhuta, the created beings like us, by his own choice, by his own volition. No one forces him. But his love is so much for humankind. We think we love God. Love God says much more. That's why he comes and takes all the load, all the suffering, all the pain, and suffers for themselves, releasing the suffering of ours. So it is as Shankaracharya said, here you find that when these incarnations are extraordinary, Swami Vivekananda speaks highly about these messengers. He has given a talk in Los Angeles, here itself, while he was in Pasadena in 1900. He gave a talk on his topic was Christ, the messenger. And there he has mentioned that all the manifestation of God, who are the messengers, their character, their love, their compassion knows no bounds. They only do come only to suffer. And why we adore them? Because of their selfless dedication. And thinking of them, our mind will be purified. And he said, even the messengers who come, they excel the qualities of even whom we think about God. Our concept of God is what? God is the creator, God sustains, God maintains, God is the everything, God's creation. And I am also created being. By His grace, I can rise above my weakness. I can rise above my failures and frustrations. And I can attain the liberation in which I am destined to reach by His grace. But when we find that concept is a concept, I don't see God. I have heard from holy people reading the books and this and that from the saints. But when incarnation comes, they excel, their character, their love for humanity, their sacrifice excels even the highest imagination about God we cherish. I quote that area, Swami Vivekananda's lecture in the Los Angeles, Christ the Messenger. Great predominance in the march of events, the liberal ideals are marshaled ahead to sink down, to digest, as it were, to ruminate over the past, to adjust, to conserve, to gather strength once more for the rise and the bigger rise, the waves of purity and love to manifest. Wave rises in the ocean, and there is a hollow driving onwards. The society goes ups and downs, no? When it goes down, our Upanishad suggests, Gita suggests, then only the religious, this big power comes to redeem the world. When it goes down to the bottom of morality, of untruthful behavior, selfishness, and all meanness dominates more, it is the hollow, then the rise comes. Great souls, the messengers, came at a period of history of His race, may be well designated as a great fall. They come in the race among the country where He is coming, the downfall happens. You see the Buddhism, how it happened when the decadence of Hinduism. He came and reorganized the religion and gave the right value and redeemed people for future destiny. When Rama came, Krishna came, Christ came, the idea of God in Judaism, it is a frightful God and dominance of the teachers. They are preachers, the priests dominating on the others, and only rules after rules after rules. That is not religion. Religion is love. That's why Christ came. The idea of God as a ruler, punishing God. Christ came to give us the God as loving God. That's the transformation. That is the purpose of incarnations. They create hope in us. They create, don't worry, I am there for you. Come, ye who are heavily laden. his call comes like that, we people can follow them. So here, the great souls, the messenger, came at a period of history of his race, in which area they come, may be well designated as a great fall, and that decadence of the spirituality and religion has happened. And Swami, about Christ, he said, 3 years of his ministry, only he was alive 3 years to preach the message, what is we get in the Bible and others, no? And he said that 3 years of his ministry were like a compressed, concentrated age, which it has taken this 1900 years during his time, we can say now 2000 years to unfold. What the message Christ has given, it is unfolding and it is penetrating in the hearts of the world who are seeking for love, joy, blessings, purity, redemption. That is the concentrated 3 years of living the life, excruciating life of sacrifice, preaching day and night the message of Father in the heaven, and that created this tremendous transformation. His whole world is getting benefit for last 2000 years, which is taken 1900 years because Swami Vivekananda came here. That was 1900, now it is 2000. So, to unfold, and who knows how much longer it will take. That means that grand message of love, of compassion, of holiness, of purity, how long it will take to flood the hearts of all the people in the world, no? God is only one. He comes for this purpose. And Christ came. So Swami Vivekananda acknowledges that. But mark this giant that came, centuries and ages pass, yet the energy that he left upon the world is not yet stressed. It goes on adding new vigor as the ages roll on. That is the greatness, grand purpose of the appearance of this God in human form as Christ. As Hindu perspective, we look at that. So this is these giants, the spiritual giant means only we believe in God. God himself comes. Father and the Son is when it's same, because the Son inherits the Father, all the assets and property, no? So all the glory of the Lord comes to the Son. So in that sense, that this giant that came centuries and ages, 2000 years are not little time. People remember, we are born and dead. Who will remember us? After we die, some people who know us will make a memorial service one day and weep a little bit, cry a little bit, or smile a little bit, make some jokes and funs, and then boom. One photograph may be in the wall some days, for some days. And then what? Come to the reality. Who will remember whom? But Christ, time passed, 2000 years. But his impact is no less. And it's a much better worldwide. And as time passes, its impact goes on. The love, the compassion, the holiness, this message of harmony that goes on. So the energy, they generate some energy in the society. Rama came, Christ came 2000 years ago, no? Buddha came 2500 years ago. So 500 years before Christ. If you go to Krishna, he will be much earlier than that. If you go to Rama, he is much earlier than that. Why this Rama, Krishna is remembered? Buddha is remembered. Christ is remembered, not remembered. More intensity. Those who want real suffering, pain and agonies, they go to these great souls. Why? Because they generate a new energy. As Swami Vivekananda said, the energy that he left upon the world is not yet stressed to its full length. It goes on adding new vigor as the ages go on. Take one of these great messenger of light. He is suggesting us. Let us take one of the such messengers, whoever you like, and compare his character with the highest ideal of God that you have ever formed. And you will find that your God falls short of ideals, and that the character of the prophet exceeds your conception. That means we think of God, we have not seen him, the unseen, impersonal, but when he takes a personal form, and we read the stories, how Lazarus is saying, "Come out, Lazarus," and Lazarus is coming out of the dead. How the blind getting light. These are all miracles, we can say, but God's glory. And that glory keeps us alive because we think God can do everything for me. That faith, that trust comes into our life. So that's why this glory of these incarnations, the glory of Christ and Buddhas, are much more than our conception about God. We pray to God, whether God will listen or not, I do not know. No? But when Christ was there, the lady who was accused of adultery, he has brought a tangible example, and then everyone says, so she has committed adultery, so she should be stoned to death. See, we can concrete love and affection. Then what he said? Okay, she has committed adultery. Okay, take the stone first, who have not committed any blunder or any mistake in their life. First take that stone. Judge here. Turn the whole attention. What you are. Improve yourself. You are judging the world. You are seeing the fault with others. A compassion. See, compassion to that lady, even if he has done something, she has done anything, but who we are. Are you all pure? There is nothing I have done any wrong thing in my life. So therefore, that's a turning point of life. That's why the grace, when they come down, their incidents we remember, and it fills our heart thrilled with joy. There is somebody, if we feel that they can listen to me. They did in their lifetime, and they're not dead. That's why today is the Easter. We are celebrating. Not today, tomorrow is the Easter, no? We are celebrating that. That means he is not dead, he is still there to listen our prayers. And he appears even today to how many people who are pure in heart and we call upon and see the grace of God. That means these are the conduit. That's when the electricity passes. So when it passes through a conductor, then God's power in one side, input and output, becomes the same. Good conductor, perfect conductor, transmits the current from this side to that side. But which are not good conductor, what it does? The input is more, output is less. God, when he comes, God is the conductor of in the human body, though they live in the human body, but they are not human. They appear like human. That's why our Shankaracharya says, Dehoman iva, jato iva, as if they are born. They cry like baby. Ma, ma, ma. Huh? They are cradled in the cradle like all of us by the mom. But they are not human. That they are the manifestation of that absolute. And the total grace and compassion flows through them as God's grace comes. So, it is the avatar, these incarnations are like that best manifestation of God himself. And the suffering part when they come, it is their volition, by their own choice. No one forces them to take our suffering. It is his grace. because he feels, and the mother suffers for the child, no? That's the uniqueness of Christ, that he suffered for the suffering humanity, because as the mother suffers, mother does not feel that he is suffering, no? When the mother takes care of the baby, and baby has fever, whole night he could not sleep, and the baby was crying, weeping. Mom was alive all night, awake with the baby, but out of love. And still, she may say, oh, my child suffered so much, but she suffered more. She suffered more pain than the child suffered. So God is like that. That is the idea what Christ came for to create us. Therefore, what we have to do? We have to be good conductors, through which, to us also, the God's grace, God's living presence can be felt palpably. Here, according to Matthew, he said, what to do? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Father imperfect, there is no imperfection there. So you therefore be perfect. That's our sadhana. Our spiritual practice should be what? Be perfect every day. Try to be perfect. Perfect in action, perfect in thinking, perfect in love, perfect in sacrifice. Whatever to be given, we should perfect ourselves. Love, how to live a life. What he himself lived, he has given these ideas. Love your enemies. Love your enemies. Very difficult. How can I love my enemies? I cannot love even who loves me. What the question of who is enemy to me? And thus you see how much unselfishness is required to be a follower of Christ. Christ says that love your enemies. And not only that, bless them that curse you. Who is cursing you? Not only be just loving, but bless them. He himself did that, no? In the cross, what he said? Oh Lord, please forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. Could you say, I was reading in one of the, in one place, in the Reader's Digest, they are talking about the pain of that when Jesus started, his ordeal started, according to Mark. And when he was carrying his own cross, and when he was put into the cross, what a pain, you can believe that. Just imagine that. A person is being held and nailed here, nailed in the palm and hanging like that. So it's just a nerve injury and producing fiery pain, which shot through Jesus' arms and muscles, cramps. Thirst unbearable. Body dehydrated. That's why they give vinegar or something in the face, given wine mixed with myrrh, which should have acted as a sedative, but he did not take it. Understand this point. Even as a compassion, no? I killed you with a nailing here, and I'm giving love some vinegar, so that you can be not thirsty so much, no? But he bared this pain and did not accept that offer. The boldness, the power. Not the body, I am not the body. We talk about Vedanta, the perfect Vedantic example. I am not the body, it is going through the body. But still, because the body and mind is connected a little bit, he sometimes said, oh Lord, why this, why that? But, or whatever he prayed for others, no? But the point is that pain is pain. Why so much pain? Why so much suffering? What he did? He could have escaped. He knew what is going to happen, no? Last supper in the table, last supper table. He knew everything. But he didn't agree to escape. And just, he could have saved his physical health, body by that way. But that is the point. Jesus died at about 3 p.m. and the ordeal started at about 9 a.m. So see how many hours, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And ultimately, major effect of he died and gave up his, he said, John said, he gave up his spirit. Then he said, Luke, according to Luke 23.44 verse, and there was darkness over the whole land, and the curtain of the temple was torn into two. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit. And having said thus, he breathed his last. So suffering, today understand, but it is a suffering for humanity. And that's why when you find that his body was crucified and that was Saturday, Friday, until the Sabbath is over, so until Monday they are anointing. To anoint, then the Mary and others came. So early on Sunday, with 48 hours or less, morning, according to Mark, Mary Magdalene, Mary and Salome went to the tomb after the sunrise, because Sabbath was over then. They meant to anoint Jesus' body with more spices, etc. They were thinking how to get help, and they found that the body is there, and the entrance point of the place where they kept the body, it was having a big stone in the mouth, in the entrance point. So they could not enter. These ladies were thinking, how shall we do that? And suddenly they found that the stone rolled down. It's also very significant. When you want to see God, when you want really dedicated to God and pray and wait, the veil drops off automatic as God's grace comes. And when they rolled, the stone rolled and they went, and then when entering there, what they saw, they meant to anoint Jesus' body with more spices. They were thinking how to enter, and suddenly they noticed that it had already been moved out of the way. Entering into the tomb, they saw a young man in white robe seated there. And what he said, according to Mark, that young man sitting over there, clad in white dress, Mark noted that, according to Mark, this statement is, do not be amazed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified? He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. When he was... So the body is gone, and he said, do not be amazed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen, and he is not here. So he is risen means he has gone out of this. He is not limited in the body. The immortal soul remains the same. Of course, there is a concept that he has physically gone out and etc. But anyhow, whatever the mystic vision of the Mary and others, Jesus appeared almost immediately to Mary Magdalene. See, Jesus is appearing to Mary Magdalene. What is the reputation of Mary Magdalene? She was not very saintly person as in the society's eyes, but God appeared there. Look at that. When the heart becomes pure, God does not judge what we do. God sees the pure heart, love for God. So these are all tidbits, incidents here. If we look at it in depth and try to understand in the Vedantic perspective, you'll find the greatness of those happenings. So when Jesus appeared almost immediately to Mary Magdalene when she was weeping outside the tomb, but Mary thought her risen Lord was the gardener, so he could not understand that it is Jesus Christ who is come. She was crying and weeping for the Lord's vision. And first vision came to Mary Magdalene, and she saw and ultimately understood that it was Christ. It was only when Jesus tenderly addressed her by name that she recognized him and hailed him as a teacher. The vision comes. It is not just story, just concocted stories. But this realization is possible due to tears of the eyes. Purity comes by crying and praying to God. Not what we did and what we have done in the past. Those are insignificant to the love for God and sincere prayer to Him. Luke reports that when the woman announced this good news, and he went to tell the apostles did not believe. How can he has been crucified and dead, and you are saying you have seen Christ? How can it be? That's the point. Even the Upanishads, even the sages, even the saintly people saying, I have seen God. Do we believe? We know they are saying something, they are good people, that's all. But I have no faith that yes, God can be seen. They have seen God, and I can also see God. So see that even the apostles understand the point. They are not ordinary people. They come with Christ, no? When the Lord comes, Lord's entourage. They come together to fulfill the mission of the Lord. But they even did not believe. And then did not believe during the first day, and the days followed. However, because of his appearance and visions, the whole company that had followed Jesus came to unshakable faith that he was resurrected. They experienced his presence, heard his voice, and on occasions had him even cook fish for the breakfast. John tells us that when the disciple Thomas expressed doubt, Jesus invited him to touch the wounds he sustained on the cross. No? Touch my stigmata, no? Those points of bleeding point. Touch it. You doubt still now? Touch. No? And then their doubt, all the doubts left, and they are established into unshakable faith. But to mind it, God has to give so much test. Even he was crucified, he appeared, they saw, they thought, I am seeing hallucination. Maybe it is not so. And then he said, yes. And Christ said the voice was, they couldn't recognize. Then also said that, no. Then said, touch me. So that is the point. God is so compassionate to prove his presence, that he is not mortal. We are not mortals. We are by birth we are immortal, but appearance-wise we are mortal. No, and that is temporary. Our real truth is the truth will be the immortality. So here we find so many grand instructions, indications how God really is compassionate to us, to why it is happening, this doubt. Then Jesus said, you have believed me. Whom he is talking? He is talking to Thomas. When Thomas expressed their doubt, even seeing him, then Jesus invited him to touch the wounds he sustained on the cross. And then Jesus said, you have believed because you have seen me now. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. That's the future. We are the future generation. We should have to believe there is. If one can believe, blessed is the person. That means blessed is the understanding that there is immortal life, eternal life. And one loves God, can reach, can touch, can feel, can see. Three things. MacDonald saw Christ. Then here, more proof. I am here, voice. Then third, touch. That spirituality should be, all the senses should resonate in the same tune. That to feel the presence of the divine. It is not talk. It is not, that's called the spiritual experience. So, what we have to do from this lesson, he has suffered. But we shall sit and eat and enjoy my life, and God will do something. We have to do something. What do we have to do? You should read, most of you may have read it, but if not, please get that book. Sermon on the Mount, according to Vedanta. That book, very small book, but you can enjoy it. You will understand what significance of each message of the Sermon on the Mount, what he gave. So I am quoting from there. Matthew is saying, love your enemies. It is Christ saying, for all of us, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them who hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. It's too much burden. But the standard is too high. We have to understand, if you want to love God, your standard should be too high. So, to love someone who loves me, even sometimes we fail that. Someone loves me, I cannot love him. But someone does not love, hate you, then you love. Someone is despisefully talking about you ill in the back, and you came, you serve him. What a great character. That is the transformation. Resurrection means Christ should enter into us. Christ consciousness should enter into us. The Christ quality should enter into us. Not going to the church and coming back, or listening to Sunday talks and lectures will do. It is a transformation. And spirituality is transformation. It's a great responsibility on us to follow. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Matthew 6:19. So lay not upon your treasures upon earth. What we do, the same thing. We are laying all the treasures on the earth. I am collecting this. Working so hard. Why are you working? I am collecting this. Putting in my home, in the bank. It should be done. But not what degree. At the cost of God, or at the cost of the divine spiritual identification, or it should be, that's why Christ is directly saying the same message as Vedanta says. Everything is impermanent. We need to survive in life, have food, have shelter, have car, have money, but don't make that as your treasures. God is the treasure. Love God, because all will go away. Even I am thinking, this body-mind will go away. But what does not go away, that is the point. And that is the treasure. Hold your treasure in God. That's why I say, lay not up yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt. Nowadays moth and dust will not corrupt. We have good house, so that moth cannot enter there much, and your rust will not. We have stainless steel materials are available. That's why it is. The society has changed much. But that means one day it will die. Even it is so nice, so protected from rusting and dusting, no? But it will die one day. But don't make your treasures here on the earth, but where thieves will break. And nowadays thieves means so many taxes and other things. Or some way your asset will be, stock market will go up and down, and then it will crash sometime. So whatever you do, we can do it, but don't make the treasure on this earth, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, where thieves do not break through nor steals anything. That means put in your thought God into equation. That is the point. How will you put your treasure? Is there heaven is there? You take a rocket and take $1 million and put it there? No. It is being here, keeping the mind in the lofty Lord and identifying there, that is your treasure. God is my treasure. God is my all. So this is the message Christ gave for us. And who will listen to that? He is the condition given. Matthew said, and according to Matthew, come unto me. Come unto me. Who will come? Not all will come. Those who are happy with making treasures in the world and making only the world as the ultimate reality, they will not listen to this message. How many people are? Many are called. Few are chosen. Or I say few we choose. Few of us choose. God calls us all. But we choose God. Few of us. See, they are blessed. So what he said? Christ is saying, come unto me with a stretched arm. No? Come unto me. Who? All that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. This is the condition. Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling really lost into this drama of life? So much play going on, days after days, in the name of joy and peace. We are suffering days and nights. Are you tired of it? Come unto me, that labor, we're so much troubled in life. Who does not find any solution how to come to peace? And are heavy laden. You think that the burden is too much to carry. Then I will give rest. Bhagavad Gita says, Manmana bhavo mad bhakto madjaji mang namaskuru mameva yashasi. You will get me. You just offer your everything. Manmana bhavo. Offer your mind to me. Mad bhakto bhavo. Be a devotee of me. Madjaji. You worship. You worship the whole world. You worship people of rich people, wealthy people, people of beauty, people of position, people of power. You do. Not me. Love me. Mad bhakto bhavo. Mad jaji mang namaskuru. Salute. You salute so many people who are very prestigious or in society's limelight. But you don't salute me. Salute me. Offer me your respect to me. Then I will take care of you. So same voice, Christ said, come unto me all that labor. Unless we are really troubled in the life, we cannot go to God. Because we don't need God. Which day we need God? If everything goes on well, do you think of God? But if something happens in my life and I feel, oh my God, somebody I loved having cancer, somebody I loved have passed away, somebody I endearingly want to help, but he's lost He's getting really in pain and agonies. And when trouble comes in our life, that is the moment when we question, why? Why for me? And that's the awakening, waking call. That's why Christ said, you should feel that this burden of the life is too heavy to carry. And there is no peace in it. I tried so much. How much I endure, but what peace I get. Therefore, take my yoke. You have tried with your own yoke, your own karma. Take my yoke. What is my yoke? Love, unselfishness, free service to others. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. Christ himself says, I am meek and I am lowly. What does it mean? I am egoless. I serve people. Anyone calls upon me, even don't call, I go to him to confer my love. But they don't look at me. I go to offer my love and serve. Therefore, take my yoke. Man mana bhavo. Take me, the Lord of the universe, as your own support. Be egoless. The whole world is fighting for the ego. So be egoless, be humble, be dedicated, be unselfish. And he shall find rest unto your souls. Therefore, Ramakrishna is also calling like that, come, come, come. Ramakrishna is to go to the top of a music tower there and used to call, oh, ye, come, come, I am waiting for you, pure children. I cannot stand without seeing you. So Upanishad says, Srinnantu Vishye, oh, the whole world. He is addressing the whole world. He says, Srinnantu Vishwe, Amritasya Putraha, Aje Dhamani, Divyani Tastu. Whoever is there in any plane, in the earth or heaven, I have realized the truth. Come, come. And that is the only path of immortality. That is the path of your freedom. Come, come. So this call is from the Christ comes, or God comes, Buddha, you can say whatever name, the Upanishad, the sages of the Upanishad. The same reality calling us to go home. But unless the mind, the child becomes tired of toys, so long the child plays with the toys, mommy is happy. Okay, Baba, you play. And when the toy becomes burdensome, then what happens? The child throws away all toys and runs for ma and then cry and cry and cry. What happens? Then mommy comes. As in our life it happens. It is the same in spiritual life. So today, in the blessed day of thinking of Christ and his resurrection, I pray that Christ appears in our heart and just give us that inspiration of love, unselfishness, that type of the attitude to sacrifice ourselves for the good of others, for the good of many. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.